Hey everyone, welcome to the Healthy Team Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Erickson, and this is the show where we dive into the real stories behind thriving workplace cultures, exploring everything from wellness and morale to leadership and productivity. Today on the Healthy Team Podcast, we're diving into the fast paced intersection of wellness, entrepreneurship, and AI with someone who truly lives at the cutting edge. Jeff Hassemer. Jeff is the co-founder and CEO of Firestarter Marketing AI, where he's empowering small businesses and solo entrepreneurs with AI-powered tools. With over 30 years of experience leading product strategy and for both startups and Fortune 250 companies, Jeff knows how to cut through the noise and execute with laser precision. Today, we're going to explore not just how Jeff has built impactful tech, but also how he sustains energy, clarity, and focus along the way. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate being here. Thanks for having me.
Jeff, let's kick things off by having you tell us a little bit about your business and the kind of work you and your team do at Firestarter Marketing AI.
Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned, we spent a lot, me and my colleagues here, we spent about 30 years in the marketing and technology space. And in that time, if you go back, I mean, we were there at the advent of internet marketing. A lot of us were all there trying to figure out, how are we going to do ad serving? How are we going to do email marketing? How are we going to do affiliate marketing? And it was a lot of fun because, one of the biggest impacts, that was made on business is not just the internet, but things like, um, you know, cloud computing and that have changed technology together. More recently, however, we've always done that at an enterprise level and, done some pretty cool marketing stuff for, some pretty amazing companies out there, like, everything from Victoria's Secret to Williams Sonoma to, Chase Bank and that. Recently I had a friend who was running a small business and he was begging for help. Didn't know what to do with marketing, didn't have time for marketing. And I realized that we were at this era now with AI where, I could really take my career and instead of helping enterprises, really help the little guy and lift up the small business owner, give them a tool that's really their marketing best friend and can help them navigate this complex world and really build out a real marketing strategy that will drive customers to their doorstep and be found when they need to be found. And so we decided to build our energy here to really lift up the small business marketer, really help them get into building a business and meeting their goals. And as part of that, we looked at what was going on in the market. A lot of these guys are paying agencies a lot of money. They're locked into long-term contracts, things like that. And we decided, hey, we're not doing this to be a unicorn. We don't want to build $1 billion company. We want to build a company that's fair and equitable for these guys. And so we do monthly. It's month to month. It's a reasonable price. It's not taking from these small business owners. It's really lifting them up, and that's the goal behind what we're trying to do here at Firestarter.
Wow, fantastic. I love that. Certainly, we've got a lot of small business leaders in our audience. Jeff, you've built a career out of high stakes strategy and execution. Could you share with us what personal wellness or productivity habits have been game changers for you? And if you have any that didn't work, maybe flopped, share those too. We can learn
It's
from both.
funny. You go through your career and I think the older you get, the more you realize some of the stuff you did early in your career probably wasn't as healthy or as good for you as you expected it to be. I mean, I think we've all done this, right? Where we've spent part of our career really digging into to work instead of life. And for me, particularly, I mean, there were years I didn't take vacations or I put a lot of stuff into that. Um, Probably about my mid 40s, I realized, that I wasn't probably as optimal as I should be as a leader or even as an employee or as a person. So I started to look into kind of things like, what can I do to make sure that I'm at my peak performance for myself, really, and for my family, and then for my coworkers. And what I realized is, routines are really important for me personally. I wake up every morning now, and I think one of the biggest things I do, I wake up about 5 a.m. The first thing I do before I get on any electronics or anything like that is I practice gratitude. So I write down three things that I'm grateful for. Three things that I see my dog in the background here. Three things that would make the day great for me, and then kind of what my plan is to attack the day, right? Then I do some reading and I kind of figure out what's going on in the world, that kind of thing, and how it's going to affect business, and then I get a workout in. And those three things I think are um, something I didn't do until later in my career. And I realized how much more energy I start the day with after that, right? Having that routine in the morning. And I also know if I don't work out in the morning, I'm not working out for the day, right? So those are the things that, making sure that I have that focus in the morning to get my day started in the right way before I start anything, I think has been a critical factor for me I really up my productivity. I was always known as the guy that I was brought in to bring change to an organization. I was because I got things done and I was usually fast at doing it. But now it's at a whole nother level because I'm energized for the day. We get things done as a team and we really drive that forward. And it's I don't get burnt out anymore because I have that day that routine to start with, and I think that's super important.
Awesome. Jeff, with your current role leading Firestarter, are there any other things that you do to help balance the demands of, fast-paced AI innovation with staying mentally and physically well throughout the day after you've gone through your morning routine? Which, by the way, I love that because, when you exercise, it does actually create more energy,
Oh yeah.
which is kind of the opposite of what many people believe.
Well, I honestly I realize that there's a our mind, bodies, and soul are all interconnected, right? And
Yes.
um, physics isn't just about the physical world; it's actually emotional as well, right? And a body in motion stays in motion. A body at rest stays at rest, right? Those kind of laws are somewhat immutable across a lot of different things, and a mind like if it's not just about mental health, it's really about mental fitness. Just like we take care of our bodies, we work out. You want to take care of your mind as well, and make sure that you're kind of at the right mindset. That you're not letting um, fear rule your day. That you can really get ahead of things and take that forward. So as far as the other things we do to keep on fast pace, I think the pace. It's almost impossible to keep up with AI right now. It's moving so quickly and so fast. I mean, the innovation that's going on is just blowing my mind at times. 45 days ago, we weren't even looking at good AI video. It was six fingers here and choppy and all of that. And now you look at what AI video is producing, and it's pretty high quality. I think we're 90 days away from a feature length film that's all AI, which is pretty
Wow.
amazing, right? Um,
Indeed.
and that kind of thing, like it hasn't happened before. So just being able to focus on the things that matter to our business and marketing and what matters, we ask ourselves. I have a poster over here that is kind of my focus points, right? So, we're for what we're doing for our customers are we're creating time, we're providing direction, we're delivering and measuring their success in marketing, and we're supporting them and offering support services. If it doesn't meet that focus point, I kind of leave it on the ground, right? And don't focus on that. So it's easy to get distracted when you're doing all that research for AI, especially because there's just cool, awesome stuff. But if it doesn't hit those four things for my customers, we don't think about it, right? The other thing too is I take breaks during the day. Like if I need to step away and take a walk, one of the great things about being an entrepreneur is that you can control your schedule a little bit better. So if you can get out, get some sunshine, get out and take a walk, and even in the heat of the day, just stepping away from your desk for a minute gives me more clarity to think through things, I think.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Sometimes a quick walk around the block or two with your dog or without can just really have a beneficial effect on your outlook. And
Yeah.
just something about being outdoors, being in the sunshine, it's good for the heart and soul. Um, Jeff, as a leader, how do you encourage wellness and productivity with the teams that you're building or your clients for that matter?
Yeah, I think the thing I like to do, um, number one, it's creating that environment, right? As leaders, I think we often forget, especially entrepreneurs, that we think we need to do it all, but that's not what a leader's job is. A leader's job is to clear a path and create an environment that allows the people that work for you to succeed and be successful in what they do. And so, part of what I do to keep my team focused is make sure that, they understand, what our goal is, what we're trying to do. That's clear for them, that they have all the tools that they need to succeed, and that they have the bandwidth to succeed and do that. The other part of this, I spend some time. I think, there's a lot of burnout in the world today, right? There's a lot of burnout in what's going on out there. But one secret there's two core secrets that I found really. Um, the first is operating to your purpose, right? And actually, if you could figure out what your purpose is, and everybody's purpose is different, right? But if you can figure out what your purpose is and what your employee's purpose is, you can help craft their job and craft your life towards your purpose. And if your purpose, so what I've realized for me is my purpose is helping people reach their potential, right? And that's what I'm doing in my work life. And in Firestarter marketing is all about helping a small business owner reach their potential. That's, we do that through marketing, but that's the core of what we're trying to do. The people that work for me, I do the same thing. Is, what is their purpose? What do they need to do? And as long as you're fulfilling your purpose, I think that you're less apt to burn out. And because every day doesn't feel like work at that point. Like it feels almost uplifting at the end of the day. And you're like, yeah, today I helped four people reach their purpose. And that feels really, really good. Um, the second thing is I feel like we, you know, we often make a choice on how we interact with people between love and fear, right? And fear is that emotion that anger is fear. It's a expression of fear in your body. Blowing up at a situation or freaking out about a situation, that's all fear based, right? And uh, a love, and it kind of closes you down and it shuts other people down around you. And so if you can take a moment when you're at a crossroads, when you're finding, either if you're responding to somebody or if you feel that kind of angst bubbling up inside of you, take like a 3-second moment to say, what am I afraid of? And name that, right? And then what's the right response to that? So what that's allowed me to do is actually be a much calmer leader before. I've spent a lot of my early career where I was just like, I'd react to the emotion, I'd hard charge. And I was taught very early, especially through sports, that things like playing angry. I played football all the way through college, right? Playing angry helped me out a lot during those times. But leading angry, that doesn't get you very far, right? So learning how to address that emotion and express and really create a more positive environment for people. Not, and that's not to say we don't push people. It's more that, you motivate people instead of pushing. I think is maybe a good way to put that.
Love it. Love it. So, Jeff, there's a lot of hype and fear around AI.
Yeah.
Uh, what mindset shifts do you believe are necessary for today's business leaders to embrace the benefits while managing the risks associated with AI?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think number one, we often are ascribing human values to AI technology, right? And I think a lot of the fear of like AI is going to take over, or they're going to rule the world type of thing, is ascribing a human value for power over, or you know whatever that may be, to a technology that probably doesn't have that same value, right? I look at AI as a tool. It's a tool to aid humans and move us forward faster, right? It doesn't replace people. It allows people to become more productive. And so I think what you're seeing, like a lot of what I see today, is a lot of AI or human jobs being replaced by AI, or there's this cut to say, can we do this with AI instead of adding a headcount? I don't think that's necessarily the right way to look at it. I think AI is a tool that helps humans make decisions and add productivity to their life. So, is if you're a leader and you're looking at cost savings by dropping headcount, I think that's the wrong way to look at it. How do I make better decisions with the people I have? Using AI is probably the better way to take that on. How do I direct this tool to do what used to take weeks of heavy lifting analysis, that I can return that analysis in minutes so that my human can then drive that forward and take that to another level, right? How do I use AI to come up with ideas that used to take me hours in a brainstorming session, that we can then take those ideas and act on them instead of all the planning that goes on in that kind of world. So, for me, any technology that comes about is a tool. But I also know this, like when we started the internet, a lot of the same things were said. It's going to destroy jobs. It's not going to, it's going to take us down. It's not going to take us in the right direction. And that fear exists almost every time new technology is introduced into the world, right? But if you look at what's happened since the internet came on board, we have far more interesting jobs than we did before. And we're far more productive, which may or may not be a good thing. But the net is we've actually created new roles and new jobs because of this technology. I can't tell you where that's going to go for sure for AI. What I do know with AI is that, at least within Firestarter marketing, it alleviates 40 hours of work for somebody that is a small business owner trying to do their own marketing, right? It comes up with ideas, it posts things, but we also, everything in the tool that AI creates is editable by a human, because it's not there to replace the human. It's there to aid that human in making sure that they're doing the right things, right? And driving their business forward. And so if you look at it that way, and you bring AI as a tool into your frameworks, you're going to make better decisions. You're going to do that faster, and you're going to do that to drive your business forward, rather than just think about it as a cost savings. Right?
Awesome. Jeff, could you share any specific use cases or AI tools that you've seen that offer the most bang for the buck in reducing workload for small businesses in Colorado or nationally, of course.
Oh, geez. I mean, obviously, I'm going to promote Firestarter marketing here, right? Like it literally, all the core things that a small business owner needs to do for marketing. This shortens that time frame of work that needs to get it done. It's does the elbow grease work for you. So it comes up with ideas. It generates posts. It generates imagery. It generates, it replies to your ratings on Google and Yelp and that kind of thing. So in that sense, it creates a lot of time for an individual. I think the biggest thing here's what I'm going to step up and talk more about use cases, right? So what's interesting about AI, a lot of people use it to write for them and produce content, but I think they're missing a big boat there. What I see these tools as these large language models tools doing the best at is actually what I would call quantitative analysis, right? So you can feed information, you can have it do competitive intelligence for you. You can have it scrape your website for information. You can have it go search the internet. You can feed it a document and have it summarized to you. You can feed it a book and have it summarize that book to you. All that stuff that used to take us hours to cut through data, that gets alleviated with AI. And so all that heavy lifting work that we used to do now can be condensed. I'll tell a quick story. When this is about 2 years ago, I do a lot of pricing analysis as a consultant. And I have these tools that would take me probably a good month to put together. What my core tool is called a price value map. And what it does is it takes all the information that I compete with or all my competitors, and I map out how the consumers that we're selling to buy from us, right? So what are the key features? What are the elements that they use to buy from us? Then we score that and rank order that, and it creates a market map. And it shows us where we need to price ourselves or where we need to be on a feature set that allows us to differentiate and find, that category that not a lot of people are around and give yourself elbow room to grow, right? That would take me 30 to 45 days to really pull together with all that competitive intel. So about 2 years ago, I fed a lot of that data into AI, and I just had to consolidate all the competitive intel, fill the scores into the platform. And I had done a deal with a customer that I said, okay, well, it'll take me a month to pull this stuff together. Literally in half a day, I had it done. Like the whole analysis was complete in half a day. So I'm like, well, I can't go back and write now because now he's going to talk to me about the hours I spent on this rather than the value that I'm giving, right? So I had to sit on the analysis for 2 weeks before I could present it because AI helped me move so fast on that really heavy lifting quantitative analysis, right? So I think that, and then the next thing to think about here is AI is going to empower the creators, right? Empower the thinkers, empower the people that used to have to rely on somebody else to execute. Let's just take film, for example, or even advertisement. If you wanted to create a 30-second, 1 minute video advertisement that included human beings in that, that would cost you thousands of dollars. You'd have to go hire actors, a director, a screenwriter, all that information to pull that together. Now there's tools out there that you could have it scrape your website and it'll create you a 30-second video that looks professional, that has a human being that is voicing that your voiceover and your script in 5 minutes. And the cost of a tool like that is about $30 a month, right?
Wow.
So I think if you're an idea person and you want to put an idea out there, be it a video story, be it a cartoon, be it a business, AI is going to empower you to do that at a fraction of the cost that it used to take. And And so I think what we're going to see is a lot of user or single person type of content come through, and this explosion of creativity that we haven't seen before in business and in our entertainment world. I think it's gonna explode creativity that we haven't seen. I mean, I think about, I was having this conversation, like Hollywood seems to have lost its creativity, where
Right.
they can't. I mean, what we have, what, 9 Mission Impossibles now, something like that. Like,
Yeah.
where are we? Is it
All the Marvel movies.
right?
New
Exactly,
one coming out every month, it seems
exactly,
like.
right. Part of that is because it's a business, and it's harder to take a risk on a new story than it is on an old story that works and a formula that works, right? So you're not going to invest 100 million, $500 million in a story that you don't know works. But what if it only costs you $5,000 to create that, right? Well, now I can test new stories and I can bring new ideas to light and I can bring that stuff out. And so what that's going to do is just explode this idea of creativity and the creators being able to build a business, put an idea out there and test it and take it out where before it was cost prohibitive to do.
Wow. Wow. Very, very interesting. Let me ask one more question. Back in the day, Jeff, when I started my company 30 years ago, I did a lot of the advertising and marketing myself. And what I truly hated was going through and trying to analyze all of the data from marketing.
Oh yeah.
And even when I got the data, I'd get it all into a spreadsheet. Then I'd look at it and be like, well, now what do I do? So could you share with us, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who has had that experience, could you share with us maybe how AI might help entrepreneurs as well as people with full-fledged businesses make more informed decisions with their marketing dollars?
It's interesting you bring this up because this type of effort for AI I've been using this for like 20 years for this type of thing, right? Quantitative AI has been around for a long time, machine learning and all of that, and using that to sort through massive amounts of data to give you to give you information has been something that we've been doing in marketing platforms for a long time. And the big enterprises have seen that and brought that forward. But your point is well put, because getting through that amount of data and being able to know what to look at that tells you your story, and pull that together is really difficult for somebody who doesn't eat, breathe, and sleep marketing, right? But what's really cool about the large language model and what we can do now with agentic AI and other tools is, like, for example, we've had the ability to pull data back from things like Google Analytics and the social media channels and everywhere that you're interacting with a customer. We've always been able to pull that data back. That's just APIs or application protocol where we can just pull that data. But then organizing that and putting that in a way that made sense to an end user, it was always subjective to be able to do that. But now we can take that data, bring it back, and now I can direct the AI to look at specific things within that data set and come back with a English-based response or a conversational based response that says, here's what happened and here's why it happened and here's what we're going to do next to fix it. Right.
Wow.
And that's I think the coolest part about this is now you don't have to sort through that massive amounts of data. It's going to bring in those data points and highlight those things for you. But then, like with our tool, what we do is we look at that data automatically, and when they generate the next month's content, we're saying, oh, what worked? That worked. Let's do more of that and less of this. And let's introduce this new test for the month to see if we can continually improve on what we're doing. That, and then the other, I think, key point of what we're offering to the clients, and again, I don't mean this to be a commercial for us, but what we're using AI to do is continue to look at more broadly what's working, because marketing constantly changes. I think the hard part wasn't just looking at the data, It's the fact that, oh, Google changed their algorithm this month, and oh, Instagram decided not to allow for links in the posts, and oh, LinkedIn is now promoting advertising over organic posts. How do I get around that? And you have to constantly fight those battles in marketing. We're constantly looking at that and feeding that into the model to say, oh, this change occurred, so now let's react in this way, right? Where so that the small business owner doesn't have to constantly stay on trends and understand what's working and what's not in these individual channels. That's already fed into what we're offering for them.
Wow, wow, that's fantastic. Wish I'd had a service like that many years ago. Would have saved me so much time.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
as
Well,
you're right, I mean, I spent so much time studying these spreadsheets, and then, I'd find something that would work for a couple of months, but then it would all change, even back then.
oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
that's
I mean,
awesome that it iterates. Well, Jeff, this has been such a great conversation. Thank you again, Jeff, for joining us and sharing your insights on building healthy teams, healthy and productive teams. Jeff, before we wrap up, could you let our listeners know where they can find you and learn more about Firestarter Marketing AI?
yeah, absolutely. So our website is firestartermarketing.ai. That's probably the easiest place to get a hold of us. My email address is jeff at firestartermarketing.ai. So you can always reach out to me, ask me a question, whatever that we're doing. I'm on LinkedIn. Same thing, Firestarter Marketing AI on LinkedIn. Follow us on Instagram in the same moniker, Facebook, LinkedIn, um, TikTok, all that kind of good stuff. That we're pretty broad with it because we eat our own dog food, as they say. We use our own tool to promote ourselves as well. So you'll find us under Firestarter Marketing AI almost any social media channel as well.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Jeff. And to our listeners, thank you for listening in to the Healthy Teams podcast. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to like and subscribe and share it with your team or anybody who's passionate about building great workplace cultures. We'll be back soon with more great conversations to help you build stronger, healthier teams. And until next time, stay well and lead well. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.